Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to episode 25 of Bliss Tell. Um, I haven't managed to get my wife on the show. I don't know. I don't think it might never happen. I don't know. Anyway, um, so um, many of you have given me permission to be long winded, so I shall gladly, you know, take your permission and be long winded. Um, If my voice sounds a bit lower today than it usually does, it's because I'm suffering from a bit of a cold. Um, but you know, uh, I wanted to record a Bliss and Tell anyway because, well, we'll be going to Belgium soon, and then I think Bliss and Tell will go on hiatus for 3 weeks, I think. So, unless, I don't know. When I go to Belgium, I never really know what's gonna happen. So, but let's assume I'm not gonna be doing Bliss and Tell for 3 weeks. I will do one next week, but then after the weekend, we're leaving. So, I will be doing some highlights of the week this week. I mean, the only person I know I said I wanted it to be shorter because of a video I watched. Plus, my wife, she's always on my case about it being too long, but I guess it's, normal for her because, we spend so much time together and then she gets sick of me because then, she has to watch me on video as well and she has to edit this. So, I'm not listening to my wife anymore. I'm listening to you. Okay, so um, the highlight of the week, of course, is that Far From the World We Know is doing really well. Um, I said before that I wanted it to go below 500, and it did. And for a couple of times it dipped below 500. I think the highest rank was 430, which is really awesome. I'm so very happy with that, and it seems to be a bit sticky around. I think now I don't know, maybe around 600. So my new goal is for it to remain below 1,000 until the end of the weekend. That would be really awesome. So that's all great. Plus, reviews have been really good. So thank you for that, and thank you for buying my book. It's awesome. So well, apart from that, I've had a bit of a writing crisis again and a health crisis. Well, not really. I just got a cold, but I haven't been doing a whole lot. Like yesterday, I didn't do anything because yesterday it was much worse. Plus, Caroline, she's suffering from this cold as well. I don't know. We must have picked it up together. This is what happens when you spend all your time together and then you get sick at the same time, and then who takes care of whom? I said to her last night when we went to bed, I said I was going to take care of her tomorrow. She said, I'll take care of you tomorrow, honey. But it's because I made her a healthy dinner last night. Anyway, I mean, it's just a cold. It'll pass. So, but I think the biggest news of the week, well, I mean, it's not like exactly a highlight, but it's something that for me, I think had been a long time coming. And the thing is that I've kind of decided to give up on my challenge of publishing a book every month because it's impossible. I mean, it would be possible um, if I were not human, if I were like a book creating machine, but I have learned that I'm not because I think I've come to the conclusion that I might have a little bit of a burnout situation going on. I mean, I am not someone who struggles a lot with first draft writing, and this book, No Strings Attached, oh my god, it's so ironic, that I said, oh, I'm going to write this book, I'm going to try to write this book in 2 weeks. I mean, I still haven't finished it. And it's not, I really don't think it's the book because, they say, oh, it's lack of enthusiasm, but it's not because I really, I mean, my main character, Mickey, I mean, she is a really interesting character, she's a lesbian. Um, and I'm really enjoying writing it when I am, but it's just I don't know. Well, of course, this week I've been sick, but like on Monday I had a really good writing day, and I said, oh, why can't every day be like this? And then I said, oh, Tuesday I'm gonna do a full day. Oh, I'm gonna do 8,000 words. I think I did 1,000. I don't know. I think, and then there was also the thought, because to stay on schedule, I would need to start the second book in the Pink Bean series immediately after finishing the first, especially because I've been slacking so much. And the thought of that, just, I don't know. It did not make me a happy writer. And the thing is, I mean, the best books, I mean, my best books, the ones that I consider, my bests, like for instance, Seasons of Love, I think is my best book. I wrote that book, after a break. I wrote that book when we came back from Belgium last summer. So I'd been thinking about that book for a long time, because actually I was going to finish it before we went to Belgium. That was just, why can I not learn from my mistakes, right? I mean, I know that I just can't do back to back like that, but I just always want to try. And then, I went on holiday, went to Portugal, went to the place where the book is actually set or starts. And then I came back and I was so ready to write it. And I just remember, it's just like really banging it out. And it was just awesome, an awesome feeling of, creating this book and knowing it was going to be really good. Well, I mean, you know, by my standards. And I haven't had that feeling in a while, because, I think I need to take more breaks in between books. And I think if doing this challenge has taught me anything, it's that, and I had a good head start, but the head start is now dwindled, so I think I'm not gonna start writing Pink Bean Book 2 immediately, because, well, I haven't finished one yet. So I do want to finish it before we fly off to Belgium, which is, it gives me a week. I mean, I'm quite close to the end. I'm like 10 to 15,000 words removed from the end. So really quite close, All it needs is a couple of sex scenes, really. No, it's not true. Because actually, I don't know, this book is going to turn out a bit longer than I had expected. But then I'm going to take a break. I'm going to Belgium for 3 weeks, and I already planned out exact amount of word count per day that I had to do. I was going to get up early every day, do my writing, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to take a break. And then I'm going to come back after Belgium. And I mean, if I haven't written in a few weeks, I mean, I feel the fire, I just want to write. So I think it's better if I take a break for me, and for the books as well, for the writing. So as a consequence, I will not have a novel out in June. I'll have The Road to You will be out at the end of May. And then I had planned to have first Pink Bean books to be out in July, like almost back to back. That's not gonna happen. Pink Bean 2 will be out in August. Pink Bean 1 will be out in July. And then there won't be a book in September. And then there should be one. This gives me a little bit of space, time to catch up. And then, if my schedule is correct, I mean, this is just such a sign that there was so much procrastination. When I redo my writing schedule 3 times in the course of writing a first draft, I know something's wrong, right? Well, I mean, I should know. I don't always know, but it's a sign. So there should be novels out in October, November, and December, because I want to have books out leading up to Christmas, because that these are always such a good sales periods. So yeah, I think and I made the decision on Tuesday, after another session of writing where it just was not flowing, and I was not a happy writer. All I want to be is to be a happy writer, and I made a decision, and I was like, oh, God, it was a relief, really, because it's just too much pressure, and I know I am the only one doing it. I mean, I'm the one doing it to myself, right? I know this, but so I'm the one who can say, okay, enough, don't be so ridiculous. I mean, I want my books to be, I want them to be, well, I mean, I'm not because I don't think this the Pink Bean book one, No Strings Attached, is it's not going to be a bad book at all. You know, I mean, I think it's going to be quite a good book, but I just want to give myself some time before I start on the next one. So yeah, that was not exactly a highlight, but it's what happened this week. So let me see what else. Um, oh, I got the edits back from Lucy, my editor for The Road to You, and also comments from one beta reader who lives in New York who went over it for me, who basically didn't find that many issues with anything New York related in the book. So that is good news. But I mean, what I would usually do in a situation like this, like because I hadn't planned to get these edits back yet. Plus, um, in her email, I haven't gone over them in detail yet, but in her email, Lucy said that you know the edits were very light and not very invasive. So what I would usually do is fast track publication, but I'm going to resist the temptation because, well, first of all, we're going away to Belgium, and I have like a million doctor's appointments and all of that shit, and family visit and all of that, and because we don't see our family very often, and then when we do, it's like concentration. Um, Plus, I think I was already like feeling my burnout a little bit at the end of The Road to You because I'm not happy with the ending. I want to do some rewrites on the ending, so basically need to make the sex scenes a little bit hotter. That's because after I was reading the sex scenes in Far From the World We Know, they are like I mean, I think they're pretty hot and emotionally very satisfying, and I didn't really get that when I was doing the third draft of The Road to You, so I'll be doing a little bit of work on that still. So the publication date of The Road to You is the 31st of May. Um, I gotten some emails from people who read Far From the World We Know, and then they said, "Oh, I just read it. Oh, when is your next book coming out?" I said, "Oh my god, I'm gonna have to, speed up, but I cannot speed up anymore. I'm only human, I don't know. I try to be like a really fast writer, but I think I'm about to learn, or I am learning now where my limits lie, and I just need to take a break in between first draft. I think it's only normal, so I won't beat myself up about it. But anyway, The Road to You, I'll be sending it to a couple more beta readers as well now that the edits are done. So anyway, I have no idea how long this video is because I've my screen is covered with a piece of paper, so I can't look at myself. So I look into the camera more, and also for the reflection in my glasses. I have no idea. This might end up being a 30-minute Bliss and Tell. Sorry, honey. So because I have a couple of questions. What did I do? Okay, so the first question is from Gert from Belgium. Hello. So one of the highlights of this week must be the release of Far From the World We Know. Yes. Gert she said she enjoyed it immensely. Thank you. Can you share with us how it makes you feel? What is your reward for having written and published a new book? Lots of happy dancing or a simple celebration or ... Well, I don't know. I don't, publication day, which is another thing I've learned, is, on publication day, I don't write because I get way too excited. So, I mean, I guess that's kind of a reward, but I don't like really reward myself because, the train must keep running. No, when when it went below 500, I think it was on Monday evening or on Tuesday evening. I don't remember. We were here at home. I think it was on Monday. Yeah, it was on Monday, and we were watching television. But Caroline showed, she's worse than me. She's always refreshing the Amazon page, and then I did do a little happy dance because like 5 minutes before it went below 500, we got like the sales figures for. We got the results of the BookBub ad for French Kissing 1, And I mean, because we work with a distributor, we don't have like immediate access to sales. We have to wait until the after the 15th of the month. And I thought that French Kissing One, the book club, had like not performed as well as at the Water's Edge, because I thought I'd gotten less email subscribers and it hadn't gone as high. But of course, it's a series, right? So people who get the first one, hoops, there's sell through for season 2 and 3, and oh my god, it was a really good book club. So I was already like super happy with that, and then the book went below 500, which was my goal for this book. So I was very happy with that, and but after that, I just continued watching television. I was watching the season finale of Girls, by the way. Season 5 of Girls was really good. I would say it was just flawless. So, watch Girls. Anyway, um, I think. Oh, yeah, and then on Saturday, because I went to number one on Saturday evening, we were out with a friend, and well, he's the kind of guy who like tells the bartender, and then we got free shots, which was nice because Hong Kong. I mean, this was a gay bar. We know the guy who owns it. So he gave us free shots. That was nice. So anyway, I'm very happy with how this book is doing. Um, I should, but your question you have to make me realize I should celebrate more. I mean, because it's a nice thing, right? So yeah, very happy. I guess maybe my reward is just that it makes me feel really good, you know. So thank you for saying that you enjoyed it, and thank you for leaving a review because I know you did. Thank you for that, and thank you for your question. Next time I will celebrate more. So next question from Skadia, whose name I know now I pronounce correctly. Have you ever been to a writers' conference or workshop or whatever kind gathering other countries might have for this, or do you ever plan to? Well, the short answer is no. In Hong Kong, I mean Hong Kong, there. I think there was like this whole brouhaha. There is this creative course at the university here, and they closed it down last year. So like there are writers in Hong Kong, of course, but they don't write in the same genre as me. I don't know if there are other lesbic authors in Hong Kong. I really don't know. But so I mean, I I became a writer in Hong Kong. So in Hong Kong, I haven't gone to anything. We do want to like maybe one day go to the GCLS conference in the US. Um, but it won't. Well, not this year. Probably not next year. Maybe the year after. We can plan our nomad destinations according to conference. Because like what we do. I mean, especially living here. I mean, of course, there's the internet, right? You can connect with people over the internet, which is great. But like, I don't know anyone in person who does what I do. So I mean, I'm not saying lesbic author because I have met other lesbic authors. I met Cheyenne Blue in Australia like a while back, and I met Fletcher Delancey in Portugal last summer. So but I mean it's not the same. I mean I don't have what was I trying to say? I don't know. Anyway, so it would be nice to feel to be around a bunch of people who do the same as I do for like a weekend or something. So we might do the GCLS. I think we should do it at least one time, and then we will probably also at some point attend the Smarter Artist Summit. The self publishing podcast guys, which we are a big fan of. So when I say we, I mean not me and not and my real name, but I mean my wife and I. So I think we might, but we haven't yet. So the answer is no, but we will. So we hope to. So no, not yet. So yeah, I hope that answers your question, Skyria. I'm sorry to be rushing through a bit, but I think it's gonna be 30 minutes. So Nikki asks, this should be a quick one. What is your favorite dessert? Thank you for your question, by the way, Nikki. What is my favorite dessert? Well, anything with chocolate. Ugh, I love chocolate. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm from Belgium, but I think everybody loves chocolate, right? Like the chocolate fondant. with vanilla ice cream. Oh my god, I love that. But that being said, I'm not like a huge dessert person. I mean, my nemesis is bread. Oh my god, bread like Oprah, right? Like, oh, I love the bread. Bread is just and here in the village because when we just moved to Hong Kong, all the bread we got was so bad. Um, like we are from Belgium. The bread in Belgium is top notch, and but here in Hong Kong, bread is just I don't know. It was like not crispy and whatever. Like I think more like American bread. I mean, I don't want to diss your bread Americans, but I think there's a lot of influence. But then it's been changing over the past few years. Like more and more, I think because more and more French people have been moving to Hong Kong, more and more French style bakeries have been popping up, and we have one here in the village, and they have the most amazing sourdough bread. Oh my god! I posted a picture of it on my Instagram this week, and it is so good. And once you start, you cannot stop. But I mean, not that bread is like the total enemy, but if you're trying to lose a bit of weight, you shouldn't have it every day. And so, anyway, how did I get to start to talk about bread when it was about dessert? Well, I would have bread for dessert for sure. Dipped in a little bit of olive oil. Oh, it's so good. Anyway, I hope I've answered your question. So we have another question from Sue. It's so funny because I get a lot of email from people named Sue. There must be so many Sues out there. Sue and Gail, I think, like on my mailing list, I get a lot of Sues and Gails. Anyway, that's not the question. Oh, my leg is asleep. So the question is, you spend the bulk of every day being Harper Bliss. Do you answer now to Harper, and does Caroline refer to you as Harper or call you Harper? Or is that purely your pseudonym and you go by your given name? And then Sue says she knows my given name. Ah, I think I know how you know. And she said she could pronounce it. Unlike your Asian friends. I'm not so sure. Everybody thinks they can pronounce it, but then they can't. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So, no, Caroline would never refer to me as Harper because, I've only like had this pen name for 4 years, maybe a little longer, and or shorter. I don't know. I can't count in my brain because there's too much snot. Um, but we have been together like for more than 15 years. She would never like. I mean, we don't even call each other by our given name anymore. I would never call Caroline and say, "Oh, hi, Caroline," or like I call her Caru. Um, because I don't know, it sounds so weird. It's like I would never call my sister by her given name, only her nickname. But I mean, obviously, we have this podcast now, and then she has to address me as Harper, and it sounds so weird. To me, it sounds strange when she calls me Harper. And then I asked her before, when I got this question, and she said, "Yeah, it's very strange to address you as Harper, because maybe it would be different if I met someone, like the only time I've been called Harper was when I was recognized at the Margaret Cho thing. Is your name Harper? And I was like, "Oh," sometimes, but no, she doesn't call me Harper. But that was a funny thing. Like a while ago, my mom, she called me Harper on Facebook. Like I don't know in a comment. I don't know if she was being sarcastic or whatever. But like my mom called me Harper. That was so strange because she gave me my real name. And my brother-in-law, sometimes he calls me Sister Bliss because he thinks he's being funny. So, but I mean, hardly anyone calls me by my given name though, because not just because it's you can't really pronounce it in English, but also because like growing up, my sister and I we shortened our names and we call each other that. And even our parents, they would only like use our long given names. Not that it's that long. If like they were like angry at us or something, or they were trying to be strict or something. But yeah, I have so many names. It's so confusing. But anyway, I don't really in my like non writing life, I don't go by Harper at all. I mean, none of my friends would ever call me Harper because they always knew me as it's my real nickname. So I hope that answered your question. So I know you've sent over some more, but I'm gonna have to keep those for next week because I think we're out of time. I wanted to say one more thing because Seasons of Love is gonna be out in audiobook pretty soon. Can't wait to hear it. I haven't heard it yet, so I thought, oh, why don't I get an Audible subscription? Listen to some audiobooks, and I listened to Shonda Rhimes' The Year of Yes, and it was so great. Because I was very skeptical towards listening to audiobook, but I think maybe because it was non-fiction, so it was about her life, right? And she narrated it, and it was just so awesome. I would go on these long walks listening. I wanted to prolong my walk listening to Shonda, and now I finished the book and I miss her, I miss her in my ears. So that was a really great experience for me. So I don't know, maybe I think it might be different for fiction to listen to audiobooks. So I think maybe the next one Caroline said let's try a fiction book. So I don't know when we're going to get the files for Seasons of Love. I don't know. We'll have to see. So anyway, I think that's about it for this. Let me just have a quick sneak. Oh, sorry about that. 25 minutes. Okay, let's end. Have an awesome weekend. Send me more questions, and thank you for watching. Peace out.